welcome back to Crafters TV on this our launch day. It's lovely to be with you. How on earth's your day so far? Who else is sweltering? Feel like I don't know if someone's left a tub of ice cream out on a doorstep. I'm melting today. I hope you are having a gorgeous day wherever you are. And if you've only just tuned in, maybe you missed us this morning on Wake Up Call. Oh, I've got a treat for you. Brand new today, we have got sensational die sentiments. These stand proud, stand out, and are guaranteed to be smile-inducing for all that you gift these to. We have got a massive range of them, and I've got a huge amount of inspiration from our wonderful craft expert today. It is Jan. Hi, Jan.
Hi, Becky. It's like just over there somewhere.
How are you?
I am good, thank you. It's
These
good
are
to
fab.
be back. I wasn't actually at Crafters TV last week, but I was busy at home in the background getting things ready for this week. Got a very busy week this week, so making up for it. So yeah, really looking forward to launching these. We were talking earlier about sentiments in general, and it's not very often that you make a project that doesn't have a sentiment on, and these are actually a really nice way to pop your sentiment in. It could be the focal point, and it's a beautiful script font again in it. So basically statement sentiments is what we're looking at today. I've just got a few samples, one of each, to show you. If you've been watching as you were waiting for us to come live, they were what we're just flicking through on the beginning of the show. I've actually got them here to show you in real life. So if I just show you the sort of workings of it, you can see in the back of the card here where it's cut out, so it's been held flat, and then those sentiments pop up, so they're almost like an edgeable, and then we've just made this particular one into an easel card there, just with a little bit of decoration. So we've got best wishes amongst there, and now Becky will go into more detail about these in a few seconds, but we've got a happy birthday
in the
range. Isn't it beautiful? So again, like we said, edgeable sort of theory behind it. So part of it is on the top, and then the rest of it cuts into your card. Pop a colour behind it, pop some glitter card behind it, a bit of paper piece in. I've got some of that later on for you. We've also got Hello You, which is a lovely generic one. You know, if you've not actually got a reason to send a card, but you just want to say hello to somebody, that one's always a really useful one there. And then we've got Just For You. This is one of my favourite sentiments, and I've got a nice sort of 3D project to show you with this particular sentiment later.
Oh, lovely.
So Just For You. So they all follow the same format, where part of the word is actually stuck out of your card, it cuts out of the card, and the other part cuts into. And then the fifth one is Special Day, so that would cover a number of occasions. It could be a wedding, an anniversary, it might even be a birthday one. You might want to put your happy birthday greeting inside. And then finally the sixth one, again really useful, we've got that thank you there. So you've got the thank at the top there, and then you can just see in here where we've got the U. So again, that top piece and the cut-in section at the bottom. So I'm going to show you how to do these. We're going to start off with a fairly simple one, and we're going to work our way through to quite an advanced project by the end of the show. So yeah, that's what we've got in store, Becky.
I think they are absolutely stunning. I'd love your messages in, okay? What do you love about these? When can you see yourself using them? Have you already bought them? You've got a card in mind? Let us know what you're going to be making. You can get in touch with us on our socials that are currently at the bottom of your screen. Make a little note of those, and you'll be able to get in touch with us and let us know, because there's so much within here that genuinely I can't really think of an event whereby you wouldn't be able to use one of these at least, because you've got loads of sentiments in here. So I have got for you your best wishes. Best wishes could of course be the likes of maybe a condolence card. You know, you're sending someone your best wishes. It could be something maybe where someone's got, for example, a new job. You're sending them your best wishes. We have also got in here the Hello You. Hello You's a great one, because it could just be a hi, I've not spoken to you in a while card, or it could even be Valentine's Day. Now, just bear this in mind. It's not hello you, it's hello you. You see what I mean? Yeah, changes it. Changes it, doesn't it? Bit fruity. I've also got for you special day. This could, of course, be the likes of a wedding day, or this could be an anniversary, as we've said. Then I've got just for you. Just for you could just be just for you, it's a special day, I hope you're okay. I've got happy birthday. Of course, happy birthday, we're going to be using that for someone's birthday. But what I love about this is the font itself, very unisex, the design itself, very unisex. But also, is it just me? Could you give that to anyone of any age? Yep, absolutely. And then finally, I have got thank you. Two of the most important words, I believe, in the English language, thank you. So that could be thank you for coming and visiting me. That could be thank you for, hosting us. It could be thank you for anything. Again, these really do it all. You have got all of those within there. And just to give you an idea of how the dies themselves come, they do come as one whole piece, so less pieces to use if you're anything like me. I really need to sort out my storage. We have got one die for each of them, so they cut out that beautiful detail. You also get little cutouts like butterflies, but for example, if you didn't want that on, because it's always on the straight line, really easy for you to cut off later. I've got your just for you as well. The best wishes themselves. And you can see how they could be standalone or how you can actually have them as the individual cutouts themselves. And bring in the hello you or hello you. I've also got thank you, and I've got your happy birthday. The happy birthday one's a really intricate one. I would expect to pay a bit more for this actually because of the amount within it, but no, all in the same price today. Big discount on this one. It's just $49.95 or $64.75 unless you're brand new. If you are, hi, let us say hello to you. Go and get in touch with us on that chat. Meet your new Crafters TV family, because we really are a family here. Do let us know if you are new, but just let you know if you are, you play that platinum price, news for you to say. So $39.96 or $51.80 only. And don't forget, if you're part of our club and you're platinum, you only pay that price anyway. If you do want to get your makes into us, your ideas, of what you want to do with these, again, get social. But for now, should we get making? Let's do it. Jan, I'm with you.
I'm always raring to go, especially when it's a new product. So yes, I'm going to start out with Hello You. I thought it was a nice place to start. And they all come in the same format. And you can see, like Becky was saying there, that the dies are all one piece. And you've got that traditional line here that we're used to with an edgeable that's got the breaks in there, which means that it's going to keep elements of it attached to the card. And then this part is just going to cut in to whatever card is underneath. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you've got to use them as a whole piece, and I'll show you what I mean as we go along. So what I've done is I've just prepared a piece of stamping card to make my blank card, and we're looking at 5 3/4 square, which is the largest we can make here in the UK out of a piece of A4. And then I'm going to take the die and I'm simply going to cut this into the top of the card. And we're going to have I'll show you the one that we're aiming towards. We're going to go along this sort of line where that die cut is literally just on that top edge. Now I've kept it at the top. It could be halfway down, could be at an angle. There's so many different ways, and then we'll come on to other ways that we can use it as we go through the demos. So this is what we're aiming for. I'm going to pop that one just there. So what I've done, about 1.5 inches down, I've just made a little tiny pencil mark at the edges so that I can line up my die. And any of you that have used our edgeables before will be familiar with this, but for those of you that are new out there that haven't done this before, where the cutting line is, there's like a little tiny groove. If you can just see on the edge here, there's a little tiny indentation on the edge of the die. So it just shows you where that line stops. And then if I just keep that there and turn it round, you've got the same at this end. So where that cutting line stops here, you've got that little indentation. So this has given you an idea now of how to line it up on that page. So I'm going to sort of aim for around about the centre so that I've got some space at either side. And I'm going to line up that groove with where I've drawn my pencil line. Now this is one where you will need to tape it down because you don't want this to move while it's inside the machine. Now the dies on the packet, this one says 6.2 by 3.3 inches. So the die itself will fit comfortably inside your junior or the midi.
Right.
And again, I've said this on many occasions, it just depends on the size of your project as to how big you want the plates. Now, because I only want this to cut through one layer, I need to open out my card. And because I've got that full length of card, I've just gone with my large Gemini plates for the easiest for this one. If you were using the junior, what I would recommend is just popping this in halfway, put your top plates on and leave this bit out of the plate combination, and then always offer it in with the die side first with your card extended at the back, and then that will cut that way. But just for ease today, I'm just going to pop it on that large plate just because I'd got it out at the ready. So just a normal thin metal die. So you need your usual plate combination there of your plastic shim, and then the magnetic shim, and then your top cutting plate. So just like you would do for any normal thin metal die, and then we'll pop that through the Gemini, and that's going to create us that card blank with that cutting element. Now, you may just want to leave it at that and add a little bit of decoration, absolutely fine. What I'm going to do is show you how to add this extra element on here. And this is simply part of the die cut into another piece of paper. So let's have a look at that card blank to get us started with. Just take those pieces off there and pop those to one side. And then we've actually got, we just release the tape, and if you notice I stuck the tape to the areas that we're actually going to cut away, so that if it does snag your cardstock, then it's not too big a problem. But if you're just gentle with it, it should come off there. So you can see now where we've got elements that have cut away already, that the wording's actually cut away. Now, because my card was slightly longer than the die itself, all I'm going to do is use that pencil line that I'd got here and snip in to where the die's actually finished cutting, and you can see now that this is actually going to come away. And then I'm going to do the same at this side. I'm going to cut that score line away down the centre of the card where I've scored it in the middle, and then I'm also going to cut along the pencil line, and I'm going to come from that side, from where the die's cut, out to that edge there, just to take away that surplus piece of cardstock, and then this piece is waste.
Great. That's so easy.
It is, it's so simple, and this, you know, sort of a very basic way. If you've got any little bits of pencil line left, you can always rub those out with a pencil eraser. But you can see now how we've got that sort of, you can see the benefit there of the actual die cut. If I pop that behind there, you can see how clean. And it's still anchored where there was the gap in the dies there, so it's all anchored nicely to the cardstock. And then you've got this separate element, and you've also obviously got the wording from that as well. So depending on what you wanted to do, there's quite a big scope for paper piecing, which I'm going to do in a demo later on for you.
Great.
So let's just pop all that bit to one side, and we'll get rid of that in a second. And then what I wanted to do was actually make, first of all, I've just got, this one's a matten layer that I'm just going to pop in the back there, so that this closes against a colour, shows it up a little bit better. And then I want to make that detail that goes, if I show you how far we've got, I want to make this detail that goes on the front. So I've taken another piece of matte black cardstock for the mat, and then I've taken another piece of pattern paper that we're going to pop over the top. And all we need to do is use the bottom half of that die, and what I'm going to do is literally line everything up on my card here as if I was going to stick it down. And then if you wriggle this back into place on the top of the die there, you can feel it click in place, and then you know where this is going to cut exactly. So once we've passed that through the machine, you're going to get this effect where it's cut the U out again from the bottom there. So just like I said, by popping this back on and actually putting it back in place, you can see how it's all lined up perfectly on the card there. So we'll just get rid of the tape off that one. And I want to pop the matte black behind it just so that that actually stands out. Now if you didn't want to see this on the inside, you can always pop a piece of white on the inside to cover it, but it doesn't worry me unduly there. So let's just get those stuck in, and then I'll show you that next step just to finish it off. So as I say, I've kept this one fairly simple to get us started, and then I'm going to show you different ways that we can actually use them throughout the show. So just using the double-sided tape pen there. We've got paper here from Garden Party, and I've just picked that lilac and I've edged it slightly with a little bit of the water reactive ink, which we've got on the show as well today. So I'm going to do the same round this piece. I've just taken a little bit of crushed velvet using one of my sponge applicators, and just round the edge, it just sort of, I personally think it brings the papers to life. It's one of those things that people either like doing or they're not bothered about. It's not an essential, it's just something that I always think just finishes it off, and it sort of brings your eye, it draws your eye into what's actually going on the piece of cardstock there. So nice and simple. We'll just get rid of that off that mat so that I don't get it all over my nice white card there. And just get that clean.
And that's just water you spritz in.
That was just water, yeah, just in my spritzer.
Great.
Because they're water reactive inks, it just cleans up beautifully.
Lovely.
And then I'm literally going to mat and layer this one on here. So I'm going to reach for my other tape pen as well, because I'm going to use a combination of the double-sided tape pen around those straight edges, around the outside there. And we'll pop a little bit under the wording, but then I'm also going to use the dotty tape pen just over that area where the wording is, just to make sure that everything's stuck down. Oops, she says. Don't be so rough, Jan. We'll stick that back in a second.
Bit heavy-handed.
I know. I just get giddy, and it's like I just want to show you everything. So this one's going to mat and layer on the top, and then I can sneak this bit just back in like so, and nobody would be none the wiser. You see, look there we go. Okay,
Great.
so that's going to go on the front, and as I say, if you're not so keen on this showing on the inside, just cut another piece of white to mat and layer on the inside, but I'm not too worried about that one there. You can see how we've got that going, so that's ready to go on there.
Okay.
And then again, I've used that die on a piece of the black card to just cut the hello. So I've just passed it through. I'm not worried about the fact that the card's not wide enough, because I don't need this bottom bit. And that's literally just cut that piece out on its own, and then I've trimmed along the bottom just with my scissors, because I want to pop this behind here to make like a little drop shadow.
Gorgeous.
Just so that it stands out nicely against that card. So you can see there with the black behind it, and then if I just pop that back out again, you can see just the white against the card. I just think it makes it sort of pop a little bit more. So let's pop those together, and then the last bit is just a little bit of embellishment. So this can now go, and I'm going to put the double-sided tape around the edge of that one there, and we'll pop that on the front. Okay. And then I'm just going to go to my tacky glue. So this is actually the PVA glue that we sell decanted into my little applicator bottle. So the hole on the top of this one's quite big, so it's okay for larger areas, but for the smaller areas, the little fine tip applicator does the job perfectly. Comes with the little steel pin there, and all I want to do is pop a little bit, and I'm going to pop it on the back of the white. So I want my die cut to come slightly that way, so I just need that outside edge of the white there. I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue onto that edge and a little bit on there, and then what we can do, if I turn that back over now so that we can see, I want to sort of line this up behind it, but then I'm just going to bring it slightly to the right hand side there, so that you've got that little bit of shadow going on alongside it there. And then that will just tack down with that tacky glue. And you can see now we've got that bit of drop shadow going on just to make it stand out that little bit more. Okay. And then I've got a couple of embellishments. So I've got a little butterfly, which is from one of the previous ranges there. And we're just going to pop that on with a little bit of hot glue there. Tiny bit on that one, just as decoration. So I think the butterfly was in the Caring Thoughts collection, if I remember rightly. I think it makes a great little embellishment, that one.
Yeah, it's nice.
And then I've just got a little piece of black ribbon, and again just to add that, to bring out that black from that matting layer onto there. And then we're pretty much, the only other thing that I did on this one was add a little gem in the centre of the butterfly as well. But you can see there how we've got that gorgeous design, and that, as I say, keeping it nice and simple for that first demo, just cutting it on that top edge. As I say, that could be anywhere. You might just want a thin border at the bottom, you might want it halfway down, you could cut it on the diagonal, whichever way you want, that would work the same.
That's just wonderful. Hello, you. I love that. I think that's absolutely beautiful. It's a wonderful card for so many different people. And yes, thank you so much for showing us that. If you do fancy getting your hands on this collection, I would zippity-doo-dah zoom, because we've already got quite a large percentage of our stock gone, to be fair. Possibly because they're sentiments, possibly because they're so beautiful, and possibly because they're so easy. Whatever reason it is, they have been very popular indeed. I've just been told a percentage gone. 20 gone, and we are 20 minutes in. So that's like 1% every 1 minute. Wow. So far. So do be quick if you do fancy getting your hands on these. And if you're looking at that and going, Bex, I'd love to recreate that card in loads of different styles and loads of different colours, how's about we treat you to some water reactive inks. Now, these water reactive inks are the type that the lovely Jan used for her design to give that beautiful edging, but there's so much you can do with these. You can paint with them, basically like watercolour. You can, of course, add textures with these. You can create blends and so much more. And the thing is, if you have one colour, you can have a lot of different finishing looks. But if you have 13 colours, the options are nigh on endless. I want to show you the colours we've got, if I may. I am bringing to you Spring Meadow, optimistic, happy spring. I've got for you your pink tulip, wonderful colour to this, lovely delicacy. Then I've got your pale fig, really wearable, really workable, brilliant to go with maybe vintage designs. Parakeet, one of my favourite colours. It is bright, it is bold, it is joyous. Orange I've got for you. Orange is a great one. This orange I really like because when you put it with the water, it's almost like the colour intensifies. Then I've got another one I use a lot, Oasis. Great for if you want to do sky-like scenes. You can block out areas and create clouded skies if you wanted to, and much more. I've got your ocean blue, as you can imagine, beautiful for your oceanic designs. Lemon tonic here. This one's a great one for that joyous kind of look, lovely for sunshine, sunsets, etc. Lagoon I'm bringing to you, really rich tone in that one. Your fuchsia, get off you. Your fuchsia, the bright, happy, smiley one. Do you like getting inspired by Mother Nature? You're gonna love that one. I've got your frosty jade here as well, a lovely delicate hue, which actually really helps tonally change the colours of other ones. Baby blue I'm bringing to you, one for, of course, cards that you could use if you wanted to do kind of out and about door scenes. It's also quite a nice one for like pavement designs as well. And then finally your green topaz, a lovely colour there with that individual kind of depths of the ocean colours. So all of these hues you are going to be able to get your hands on. I've worked it out at the price on your screen now. It is approximately £3.85 per one, which is astonishing, because I know this is nearly impossible to ask, but how long would something like this last you?
Well,
That's a good question. I suppose it's how long's a piece of string, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
I always think when people ask questions like that, is the immediate answer is it depends how often you use them. Now, you know that my love of inks goes with the stamps, and I am still, mine are my original set of inks that I bought when Spectrum Noir launched these.
Yeah.
Haven't had to replace any of them.
It's incredible.
As long as you look after them and remember to put the lids back on, they will last you a long, long time.
It's amazing that, isn't it? So buy them today, and you might genuinely still be using them in 6, 9 months' time.
I would say even more than that.
Yeah.
A couple of years.
Isn't that fabulous? So do seize the moment, especially when they're working out about £3.85 each, because today, big discount, you're getting all of them for just £50, or if it's your first order, £40 or $56, and that's your platinum price today. If you're looking at these and thinking, Bex, I'm adding them to my basket because I love a bit of colour. Let me ask you something. Have you ever described yourself as a bit of a magpie? Are you the type of person who loves a little bit of a sparkle? If you are, you are so in the right place, because I'm about to bring to you a wealth of sparkle pens. These pens just take your designs to the next level, and I've got a few collections for you. Glittery brush pens, by the way, if you've not seen these ones before, they have a lovely brush nib, and you get this, with these ones, an intensity of colour in some, but also you get that glitter, which is a steadfast glitter. It's a real kind of clear, precise way of getting glitter in your designs. So these are the colours that you're going to be getting. So in here it's Starry Night, your black onyx, and your clear crystal. So that goes on clear just with the glitter. It's one of our most popular ones, which is why we've given you a pack of 3 of them, as well as those designs. Then I've got your earthy natural. These ones, as you can see, really wonderful variation in colour. Great if you love that pop, especially if you're into the crafting trend that's kind of quite 60s inspired at the moment. Don't know if it's just me, but those kind of colours make me think of that. I've also got your purple, your blue, and your fig. That's sorry, the fig is the purple, your peacock blue, and your macaroon in there too. Then I've got your essential brights. I mean, it does what it says on the tin. They are your essentials. And then finally, I'm bringing to you your soft pastels. Now again, if you follow crafting trends, you will know that pastels are huge right now. All you have to do is go onto Pinterest, Instagram, and you will see these colours. So great that you've got that and all the sparkle. These are the colours, therefore, that I am offering to you today in the whole collection. All of these sparkle pens for just $64.95, and they come sort of base to tip, just crammed full of that sparkly goodness. So these two are going to last a really long time. You're saving nearly £13 or nearly $17 on these ones. You're going to enjoy them. These really are very special indeed. Say that again to me, Johnny. Now, we have got loads more of creativity coming up for you now, and I just want to remind you, we're bringing to you the sentiment state words today that have launched for us earlier on. And we've got another make on the go, haven't we, Jan?
We have. I'm sort of going to take it on a stage. So for those of you that have been with us since the top of the show, we started out with just that straightforward cut on the top of my card, and that was the demo that we did earlier. So I'm going to take it on a little bit further from there now. We're going to use that cut on a fold, and I'm going to use the thank you one for this one. So again, exactly the same concept. You've got that one piece of metal that's actually got both of your parts of your wording on there, attached in places so that it anchors it to the card, and then the bottom piece is going to cut into your design. So you've still got those little notches at the edges for the purpose of lining something up. So we're actually going to go along these lines this time. So we've got, it looks as if it's going to open like the first one did, with this part way down the card, but if I turn this sideways, we've actually got that sort of M card going on there.
Yeah.
So you've got this actually cut onto the fold. All right, so you can see again the workings of it, where you've got the die cut out of the back of the fold there. And again, I know some people are not keen on how these work, and we've talked about this when we've demoed edgeables before. If you're not keen on it, just pop a white mat. I'd just cut it a little bit smaller, as if it's a mat, as if it's intended to be there to cover this, and it works fine. And then this one's actually going to fold up onto the top. So I've got a 6x6 main card base, and then I've got the extra piece on the front there. So I've got my card blank at the ready, and you can see there that we've got the 6x6 base, and then this piece is pretty much the full length of A4. And what I've done is part way along here, I've just started a little tiny score line. You can just see there on the edges, just to mark the halfway point. Now the reason I haven't scored all the way along is because I don't want that wording to end up folding backwards. I want it to just stand proud of the card. So we can actually finish the score line off when we're finished with the card there. So I'm going to bring this forward. I'm going to use those notches again to line it up, and because I want that to pop out, if you imagine my mounting fold is going to be here. When I actually fold this, if you look at this one at the side of it, we've got this piece here, and then this is going to create a mounting fold with those little score lines at each edge with the word popping out. So I actually want to open this flat and then use those score lines, and again I'm just sort of centering it along the top of that edge, and I've got the notches lined up with my score line, and then we will just take that in place to make sure it doesn't move. Now again, if you just joined us, I was saying earlier that these dies will fit in your smaller machines. So the dies themselves will go in the junior, and they will also go in the midi. But because I'm working on that longer length of card again, I've just got my large plates out there for the big Gemini. So again, we're going to pop that through and cut out that wording. And then this time I've used papers from that gorgeous Beautiful collection. So I've gone with the matte black again, just for my mattes. Again, you could choose one of the colours to matte it with if you wanted to matte with Centura Pearl or anything like that. If you like matting and layering, be sure to tune in on Friday. I'm back on Friday with another new launch. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so we take that one off there. And again, this is going to go on the inside of the card, and we're going to do a similar idea to what we did on that first one, where we cut into the piece on the front. So I'm just going to take the tape off here and reveal that die cut. Same at this side. Just release that gently. I don't want it to tear. And I find if you roll the tape back, it comes off easier than if you just sort of rip it off like a band-aid there. So again, just take that one off the side there, and when we take this out, you can see we've got a couple of little pieces in there that want to pop through. You've got the wording at the bottom that's going to pop out again. Take those to one side, and then now I can actually put the fold in on the score line. So where I've scored it at the sides, if I nip that together now, it's going to pop up the wording and fold the card, and then I'm just going to reinforce those two little areas that are folded with my bone folder. And you can see now, if I turn that to the side, how we've got that lovely, we call it an M fold because it creates that letter M there. All right, so that's the basis of the card. And then decoration wise, this one's going to matte and layer in the back there, so we can get that one stuck down straight away. So like I said, the Beautiful collection for the paper, and the matte black card just for matting and layering there. And that one's going to stick essentially on what's the front of the card there. If you were just making an ordinary card, that would be your front. And then we've got this extra piece here. Now again, like we did at the top of the show, I've used the die and just positioned it to cut into the lower piece that I'm going to matte and layer. So we're essentially covering up the one that we've cut, but we're literally going to pop this over the top so that we've got a contrast going on. So again, all I've done with this is use that bottom part. I've put this in position so that I know whereabouts it's going to sit on my card here. And then if you line up this bit over the thanks, you feel it click into place, and then you know that this one is going to be in the right place to cut into your base piece. So that's all I've done there. Okay. And then tape it down, cut it through, and then we can stick this one down as well. So again, double-sided tape there. And I've just used the reverse. The Beautiful collection was a double-sided paper pad. So the inside, the reverse side, slightly darker. So you can see we've got that contrast between the top layer and the bottom layer. So this is the back of this particular design. You can see on the other side we've still got that honeycomb. So again, just to matte and layer this one on the black, And I like how that shows through. And then that one's going to sit on the front of the card. And then again, you know, the rest of it's pretty much just embellishing, and there are so many different ways that you could embellish. Because we've used that particular paper pad, you know, if you've got that collection, you might want to embellish it with pieces from that beautiful collection. You might just want the statement to be your focal piece there. But you can see how that's coming together.
Wow.
And then again, just like we did with the first one, I've just cut the top section of the die, and because that stays anchored to the card, I've just run across the bottom with my scissors just to cut this out. And again, you can see the white against the card there.
Yeah.
But when we pop that little shadow behind it,
It's just extra.
it just lifts it off the page a little bit, I think. So again, just use that wet glue for this one, and I'm going to turn this over. This is going to come to this side, so I need my glue on that side. So just to sort of little tiny bit on that left hand side of the letters will be enough to catch that piece from here. And then I'm literally going to hover behind here as if I was going to line it up and overstick it, but then just bring it slightly to that right hand side so that there's a little bit of the black showing there as well.
Got you. Laura's just asked, when you cut using only part of the die, should you put scrap paper over the rest of the die?
Yes, I tend to, yes, so that there's something for your die to cut into. Otherwise, it's not going to damage your Gemini plate. I mean, that is the purpose of you can see all the scarring on this one. But if your metal goes straight to this, it's going to make sort of, I'm not going to say an indentation, because it's not deep enough to do that, but it's going to sort of exaggerate the scarring. So just by popping a piece of scrap paper in to catch it so that it's got something to cut into will actually help preserve your plates a little bit longer.
Brilliant.
And the same if you were doing it in the midi as well. I would just pop a little bit of scrap there to catch the other part of the die. And then this time I've just taken a little bit and made myself a nice little embellishment there with the flowers, little gem, couple of leaves, and we're just going to pop that. I'm going to use the hot glue again for the embellishment. So just a little bit behind there, tiny bit on the leaves there. And then this one's just going to go, and as I say, this could be one of those lovely bees from that collection. Whatever you fancy as far as decoration. I just wanted to show you some different cuts with the actual sentiment dies. And then I've just got a tiny little gem. I think the little butterfly here just lends itself to having that extra little bit there just to go in the centre of it. So you can see there we've got our 6x6, which will fit nicely into an envelope, but if I spin that one round for you, you've got that extra detail with that lovely sentiment popping out of the fold on that card.
That really is just beautiful, Jan. It's a real summery feeling card, that, isn't it? Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We have got so many more crafts to show you, including that wonderful box that has been put up on social media as a little bit of a peeky peek. We have got loads more demonstrations to come up, but because after 20 minutes of this show, 20% of our stock had gone, we thought we would have a little second to double check our stock levels. So if you know that you want this, it's in your basket, and you've made sure that you've got your inks that you want if you need them, your sparkle pens that you want if you need them, pop them in your baskets and do just have a little bit of a checkout so that we know how many we've got left, because I don't want anyone to miss out on this if you've got your heart set on it. So we'll let you check out whilst we find a little bit more about our Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95 and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Thank you all so much for checking out. We're just refreshing our page, so I will be able to give you a stock update in mere moments. For now though, if you've just tuned in, where have you been? What have you been doing? What have you been eating? I hope you're having a lovely day so far. My name is Rebecca Redican, you can call me Becky, and I'm joined by the fabulous Jan. Jan has been making some sensational cards, and I know full well that if you're anything like me and you're watching them, all you want to do is treat yourself to the brand new sentiments and then start making them in lots of different textures, lots of different colours, and for that you need lots of different cards. And I've got you covered right here. We are bringing to you 2 collections. You can choose which one you want. So let me show you them both, pick your favourite, or if you fancy both, today they are a bargain, so you could treat yourself. This is your garden party collection. I'm bringing you the pale colours first. So this collection, as you can see, lovely and muted, as I mentioned before, one of the big trends for this season. And that isn't just, oh, someone's been at it here. What, they like the monkeys? Oh! Yeah, it's not just in craft, it is in fashion as well. These colours are big in at the moment. So this one's got muted, but can you see that pearlescence? Oh, the diffraction of light bouncing across these like the orient of a pearl. It is sensational. And all of these colours that you've got here are mimicked beautifully in the large paper pad. Now this paper pad, you are looking at a 12 by 12 again, it's 180 GSM, but the colours that you've just seen there will be mimicked throughout these. There are some pages like this that will be perfect for a memory book. There are some pages such like this which has just got gorgeous texture for backgrounds. We've got ones that are going to be great for matting and layering. We've got ones that would go great with other collections such as our vintage collection that has the parasol in it as well. We've just got loads going on in here. There really is something for everybody. If muted colours is your thing and you like maybe making to sell, you know, these kind of things are really in at the moment. So there's that collection if you would like to treat yourself today. You're saving 25% on both of those ones. As well as that collection, I've got a farmhouse collection too. So again, see which one's speaking to you most. The farmhouse has got still a sort of quintessential summertime feeling about it, but it has got a little bit more of a wallop. Tonally, these are a little bit more intense. So with this one, I'm giving to you 230 GSM. Just in case you are new, the higher the number, the thicker the card. Simple as that. So these ones, 230 GSM, and look at the range of colours you get. Slightly textured on this one too, if you can see it. The way I describe the texture is almost like zooming in close to a woven linen. It's that kind of feel, it's that kind of looks. So you've got your light greens in here, you have got your pop of a green. This would be good for Halloween. And I've got for you peaches, pinks I've got for you yellows. I don't know why I just whispered that. It was a bit weird, wasn't it? But it happened. I've got your honey oranges. Have you got the Beautiful collection? If so, then I've got your purples, I've got your blues and your teals as well in here. Again, we haven't just flung these out at you, we've perfectly paired it to go with our patterned pads. I love this one because again, it's double-sided. So what I mean by that, just in case you're new, Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer do, flip it over. Oh, that's a bit new. You've got the splottery effect on this one. So this is the cool thing. You can pick which side you want. It's not like you have to pick your favourite because you get double the amount of each. Oh, I want this one just to put a big picture of someone's face in it. Don't know who specifically. I haven't got anyone in mind, but I've also got layered ones. How cool would that be for matting and layering? Dead easy to line up as well, especially if you're new. This is one that Jan may or may not works with. I wouldn't like to say. She may or may not have used that one, or she may or may have not used the other coloured, that one. It could be that one, who knows. Then I'm bringing to you all of these that have got these lovely little bunnies on. Oh, I went to a christening this weekend, which you'll know if you've got me on my Instagram stories. I went to a lovely christening and I actually used this paper for the christening card because I think it's very cutesy, isn't it? But as you can see, loads of different designs. I know what you're thinking. How many pads have you shown us here, Bex? It's still just the one, but there's so many different designs in these. Again, this one for you, 12 by 12 across the board. Today, you've got a 25% saving on those. So think which ones you're going to use the most. Add it to your basket now so that you can continue to craft with our brand new statements. These sentiments borders that we've got for you are really individual and unique. This just over a quarter of the stock has gone on this one now, just over a quarter of the stock. So if you have been fancy grabbing it, then absolutely do. Especially as I've just brought you all of them lovely papers, and I'm just thinking how cool some of these papers would look with the sentiments themselves. I mean, even looking at the likes of your happy birthday and kind of having that underneath just as a pop through like the lovely Jan shown us. You could do something like that and it really does change the design up, doesn't it? So let me show you the sentiments that I'm bringing. I've got for your happy birthday. I've got your thank you, which lovely Jan met with earlier on. Then I've got the hello you. I've also got the best wishes. Then I'm bringing to you the just for you. And I have to say I love this one because I like the two different hearts. That one looks like a little hand-drawn one, doesn't it? It's so cute. Then I've got your special day as well. So all of these launching right here, right now. And we're getting it for just $49.95 or $64.75. They really are stand-out individual cards. And speaking of stand-out, we're making more, aren't we?
We are going to make more, yeah. We're going to take it on another level now. So we're going to go a little bit further with them. We're going to use that special day one. And this time I'm going to show you how to make it as an actual aperture. So this is cut into the front of the card and then we're cutting away an element to make an aperture. Now you could pop acetate behind here or vellum or whatever you fancy behind there. If you were really, really sort of, you know, take it, you could even pop a piece of fabric behind there. Again, you know, if it was sort of a special day, if that was a wedding day, it's like my mum actually made my wedding dress. How special would it be to actually have a piece of the lace in there from the actual wedding dress? Would be gorgeous, wouldn't it?
Wow.
But you don't need to. On this particular one, I've left the gap open here. This is sturdy enough that it will stand in that aperture without having to worry. So let's have a look then. We've got our special day, again, same configuration, all on one die, and pop that one to one side. And you can see there how we've got the special, we've still got the little butterfly feature on this one, and then the day at the bottom is just going to cut into your cardstock, so wherever you place it. If you just wanted to use the special part, you know, there's no reason why you can't snip this off as well. There's a certain amount of sort of variation with these, because you could take the bottom off and you might want to use a stamp. You might want to do the special part and then stamp anniversary underneath it.
Great
so there's a lot of
idea.
scope to actually change them about with them being in two separate parts, even though it's one die. So again, you know, you could just literally cut it out, take that bit off, and then literally add a stamp sentiment if you wish. So what I'm going to do is I've taken my stamping card again as the card blank, and I've just made a little bit of a mark where I want to pop my die into position here. And again, I'm going to use those little notches at the edge of the die, which tells me where that cutting line finishes, to get it lined up. And I am going to pop it into place with the tape again. When you're working with something like this that's got a specific sort of alignment, I wouldn't sort of let it go through without taping it into position. And I'm going to tape it into that area that I'm going to cut away there, so that if for any reason the tape does snag, it's going to be in the piece that we're going to cut out with the knife. All right, so again, because I only want it to go through one layer, I'm going to open my card up and I'm going to pop it along that large plate there. If you were using your junior, yes, they will all fit through the junior, and I would literally pop it on my junior plate and just leave the rest of the card hanging out of the back, but always offer this side to your machine. I would never try and feed in the spare piece of card into the rollers, just so that you don't want to tempt fate and it gets stuck in there. So always offer this side, and then this will follow it through, and you'll get your die cut just the same. But I've actually got my large ones there for today, and like I've said, a lot of you know that my large Gemini is the one that I have out in my craft room. I do often use the junior plates in it, but because these projects are a wee bit bigger, I've gone for those larger plates today because we can. And again, thin metal die, just that normal plate combination for the Gemini. They will work in any other machines out there, so you would just use your combination for a thin metal die. They're not just specifically for Gemini, although we make them. They will work in any of those other machines out there, so don't think that you have to have a Gemini. But I know that our customers out there will tell you that once you've tried the Gemini, you probably won't go back to a different machine. So we'll pop those to one side. And again, I just need to get that tape off there gently, and I've rolled that back. Although it doesn't really matter if it snags it this time, as I say, because we're going to cut the aperture out of the card there.
Christy's just asked, my inside sentiments are always a challenge. Should we cover the inside back with card before stamping the sentiment?
Right, read me that one again, Becky.
Yeah, I had to think about that.
Yeah.
Question. I'll do it as she did it. Question. My inside sentiments are always a challenge. Should we cover the inside back with cardstock before stamping the sentiment?
So we're talking about stamping, actually, if I bring this one back in that we did earlier, we're talking about stamping inside the actual card. So if you're wanting to put like a stamp or a verse or something, do you think inside?
It came in just as you were talking about cutting the bit off.
Or are we talking about the
and then
aperture
stamp.
ones?
Yes.
Maybe we could just get a bit of clarification
Will
on
you
that,
clarify
Becky, and
that
then we'll see if I
for
can
us?
give you a better answer.
Thank you,
Because I'm
Christine.
not quite sure with that one. So just coming back to here then, you can see again how we've got that cut into place there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil. Now then, I did have a ruler, but I'm not sure what I've done with it, so I'll use a piece of cardstock. And what I want to do is just extend a little bit, and as I say, if you measure it with your ruler, so that I've got a guide for cutting this. And again, I'm just going to take the craft knife to it. Now, if you're pretty hot with a craft knife, you could just cut this straight out, but this is just going to give me an idea of where I need to cut there.
Right.
Okay, and then I'm going to take my plain edge knife just for cutting that square area out. And again, you know, you can do this with the aid of your metal edge ruler, but I'm just going to follow those lines. And we're going to take this out to make the aperture inside.
Great
So
stuff.
I'm going to cut just outside the pencil line so that it cuts most of that pencil away. And then again, we've got that really long edge.
Got loads of people messaging about these. Hadassah is saying, loving the dies, they are simply cute. We've got Laura in saying, today is the first day of school for my kids, that they are in person. So no work, no kids. It's time to craft.
Certainly is. I love it. Yeah.
Love that.
My youngest daughter is a teacher. She went back last week, and a lot of their children started filtering in from last week. She popped round the other day and she says, oh, it's like we've never been off, Mum. She says, those 6 weeks have just totally disappeared again.
Oh, bless her.
Right, so if I pop that black behind there now, you can see how we've just created that aperture there on the front. All right, now I'm just going to swap, purely because I did this one nice and neat with the ruler and it's not quite as wonky. I've got my little gem in place, but you can see I've got to exactly the same place there with this one. All right, and then what I've done, we've got a matte and layer to go on the inside, and this is from the traditional florals, the paper pad. And again, I've just matted and layered to go on the inside, so this is going to show through that aperture there, so we can get that one stuck down in place straight away. And again, just a little tip, if you don't have the right card for your matting and layering, so if you've had a rummage through, and I put on my social media the other day a little thing about ridiculous amounts. What do you have a ridiculous amount of?
Oh, right.
And I put on mine was paper. Paper pads I'm an absolute glutton for, honestly. Every time a new paper pad comes out, I have to order one, and sometimes two. So things like vintage diary, the letters from your heart, that's really my kind of thing. Garden party, I ordered two.
Well, funnily enough, Deborah's just messaged saying, I must love garden party papers because I accidentally ordered them 3 times.
Yeah, I get it. It's a really nice pad. But what I was going to say was, even though you have all those papers and all that cardstock, I have still been in a position occasionally where I've not had the right colour to go with it. Now, the matte and layer behind here, I've actually coloured with my water reactive inks. So I've literally just gone round the underneath with the water reactive so that I've got exactly the colour that I wanted to work with. If you haven't got the right cardstock, you don't need to colour the whole piece, just enough round the edge to cover it with your piece of pattern paper. So that was the inside. And then a piece from that same paper pad to coordinate, I've just cut a little sort of 1/2 inch frame that's going to stick all the way around the outside. So again, this has been cut with the guillotine at, let me just remind, so 6 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches, and then I've just used that craft knife to take out that piece inside again to leave me like a little 1/2 inch border. So I'm just going to pop, oh, I like that side as well. Oh, shall we go a bit rogue?
Yeah, do it, go rogue,
That's on the
Jan.
sample. Where's my sample? I used the other side on the sample. Shall we go rogue?
Go
I like
rogue.
that side as well. Come on, let's do it. So I'm going to pop double-sided tape all the way around the edge of that one, just nice and gentle so that I don't snag it again. Because I do get a bit heavy-handed. I'm saying with the inks, I'm very heavy-handed with the inks. I have to remind myself not to press too hard, especially with the quick dry ones that are on a foam pad. And then literally this one's just going to fit. Whoops, stuck to me now. Here we go. Just around that edge there. We've got a little border round the outside of the card. And then just to stick that one in place there. Okay. Now then, because we've got this area here that it looks okay, I think, but we've got a bit of sort of bit with the little spots in the back there, it's not standing out as much as I would like. So just by adding a piece of the black behind it, takes away the spots and makes this a little bit more definite. So what I'm going to do is just stick this one across the back here and then trim off any that I don't actually need. So again, just some tape along the inside of the card. It also covers up the workings. Like I said, if you're not keen on seeing this bit inside the card, it will actually cover up those workings in there. So this is just the matte black card that I've used previously for matting and layering. And then I'm just going to take my larger scissors, and any that's hanging over the edge there, we'll just trim out.
Okay, perfect.
Or if you want to pop it back in your guillotine, you can do so. But it's actually picked up. Just take that edge off there. And there's a little bit on that one there. But that's actually picked up the back of the day and the bottom half of the P. Just makes it a little bit more pronounced, I think, for you. And then again, you know, going back to embellishments, however you feel. This is one of our layering stamps, and I've just used that with some of the inks there, and we're just going to pop that one on as an extra feature, but whatever you fancy on there. So I'll get a little bit of the hot glue to go on there, and then we will pop the leaves. Should be able to get those stuck in at the same time, I think. There we go. And just let that set for a second, and then when I turn you that one round, we've got a slightly alternative with the reverse side of that paper. If I show you the one with the other side, we had the more pronounced pattern, and then we've got the one with the sort of leaf pattern on there as well. So whichever you prefer. There's no right or wrong, but showing you how to cut this into, and as I say, we've got the gap there inside the card. So that was number 3.
Gorgeous. Okay. Whipping through these, aren't we? We really, truly are. Leslie is in saying, I'm terrible for paper pads. I've got 3 or 4 of the Night Before Christmas collection. I want to know which paper pad collection you have the most of. Message us in, please. I'd love to hear from you. So many people giving you love as always. Brenda saying, neat techniques, Jan. We've got Crafty AJ saying, Jan explains things so clearly and so well. Thank you. Joy is saying, I love this Jan, not jam. I love this jam. Straub's my absolute fave. So yeah, loads of you messaging with love for Jan, and we have got more demonstrations from the wonderful Jan any moment. Now, if you do want to seize the moment on the sentiment, then please do grab it whilst you can. Last check, there was a quarter of the stock gone. It's quite a bit over that now. If you would like to check out your baskets, we're going to give you a moment or so to do that, because don't forget, once you check out your basket, it's like you can sit back, relax and chill. You know that it's going to be delivered to you. So do feel free to check out those baskets. We've got more demonstrations from the lovely Jan and more bargains after this.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet. The neighbours. I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing. Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome back. How are you doing? A quick one of these for you, those of you who've already checked out. Bit of a round of applause, because we have got nearly a third of the stock nearly a third of the stock gone on this, not a million miles away. So congrats to everyone who's already managed to secure theirs. If you have just tuned in, hiya my love. It's really lovely to be with you today. I hope you're having a fabulous one. If you're doing something that's creative in any way, do message us in and let us know. Or if you're just like dog sitting or cat sitting, we love that too. So do feel free to let us know. We have got for you today the launch day of our statement sentiment word dies. 6 pieces in this, but the uses of them is almost limitless. We have got today for you your stand out, eye-catching, smile-inducing dies, and I'm bringing to you the following sentiments. Special day with the lovely butterfly. I've got for you, just for you, with the hand-drawn heart. I've got for you the best wishes with the double-filled heart. I've got for you the hello you. Oh, I don't know why I said like that. That was weird, wasn't it? Sounded like, I don't know, I was off Mary Poppins. Hello, you. Anyway, that one's got the sort of mid-flight butterfly upon it. Then I'm bringing to you the thank you, and I've got for you your happy birthday as well. So you've got all of those. You don't have to pick your favourite. You're getting each one of these ones today that does that lovely standout pop-out design for just $49.95 or $64.75. And there's loads of inspo there that we can make with these, isn't there?
There is, absolutely. As I say, if you think of them a little bit like a word edgeable, they come in our expressions range purely because they're sentiments. So that's sort of the, the sign on the front of the packaging that says that it's to do with wording and things like that. But they actually work like an edgeable, whereas they cut off the edge of the card. But you've also got this extra piece that cuts into the card, which I just think is a really nice effect. So this particular one's best wishes. And what we've done is we've actually paper pieced the wishes part back in. So just by cutting it again out of some green glitter card, we've overlaid it on the top layer here, and then we've actually sat this one back in, so it's all nice and flush against the card. And then again, whatever you want to decorate with. This one's just got a lovely little spray of flowers on there to make you that sort of diagonal easel card there. And then a more typical style there, we've got hello you. Aww. So just to give you that lovely, and again we've just inlaid this with some glitter card just to add that extra layer to it. You can see at the back here how we've done that little offset border again just to give the drop shadow. But however you want to decorate, and again just by adding some embellishments to it just to finish off, whatever you've got, what are your favorites. We use the butterflies, we use the flowers. If it was more for a masculine card, I tend to go with stars, things like that, or I often use buttons as embellishments as well on gents cards.
That's a good idea.
Again, happy birthday. How many of these do we send in a year? I know just my family alone, I've got a whole sort of set of birthday cards to go for. But again, adding those embellishments to it, but you can see how that's cut out and popped up, but we've got that turquoise behind there just to set off the birthday element. So happy birthday going on there. We've also got special day. So again, depending on how you want to go with this, it could be a wedding day, it could just be a special birthday, it could be an anniversary, it could even be something like a graduation day or something like that. Great idea. So lots and lots of use for, I think, something like that, really sort of generic style. And again, just adding decoration inside there. All right, so that's just been layered up using some of our layering dies. And then I've also got the thank you one. Again, that was similar to how we started the show, but instead of going straight, we've gone down that diagonal edge to put the thank you on there. And again, just layering up some of those nesting dies inside to add a bit more detail. You could actually stamp your sentiment onto a plain one and stick it onto the top of there if you wanted to add a separate sentiment. And then finally, just over the far side there, we've got just for you. And again, this one's beautiful. This would make a gorgeous wedding card, something like that. If you pick the colours out of the wedding and actually use that in your card style, absolutely beautiful. So they all work in the same way. You've got this top section that pops out, bottom section that cuts into your card. It just depends how you display them and how you choose your card style as to how they look. They're just gorgeous, I think, Becky.
They really are. We've had so many people just spreading the love and joy about these, saying how you know, so cute they are, but also talking about the font, because the font is stunning, isn't it? It's a really moving, kind of liquid, fluid handwriting style, and it really is beautiful. So if you would like to be one of the first people in the world to own these, now is your chance. It is your statement sentiment word dies 6-piece collection today, and you can see your prices on screen. If you think, ooh, I'm going to love making with these, so I'm not just going to be able to make one, I'm going to have to make 2, 3, 17, 24, then let me stock you up on your card and your paper, because we all know that that's very usable. And don't forget, I want to know which card or paper pack you've been buying the most of. And actually we had Joanne saying Nature's Garden and the Nativity is probably the ones they've used the most of. Now, got neither of them today, but I have got Garden Party. So let me show you this. Garden Party is your 12 by 12 collection. Don't forget, if you like 12 by 12s, I've got some tomorrow. Glitters. We're bringing to you your Pearl Essence card here. This one has got that lovely pale muted collection of colours. The way I like to think of these, if you think about the tonality of them, is imagine picking, for example, a yellow in paint and then putting loads of white paint in it. It makes it more subdued, more genteel, which is really on trend at the moment. I've also got your green in there. These are the colours you get in, and they pair up perfectly with, look at this size of that. Cool, blimey, how many sheets are in this? Loads. I'm not going to count them, I'll be here all week. 48. Massive amount in there. So yes, we have got, show you the right side, Redders. We have got for you loads of colours that are so complementary. These ones are one-sided, just to let you know, so they're white on the other side. So if you do, for some reason, want them to be white on one side, then you absolutely can. It's really nice for you to layer them up as well. But just wanted to show you briefly, just to give you an idea of, you know, the thought that goes into this. We really do put thought, time, care and effort into pairing these up, and that saves you time, which will therefore, if you're selling them on, save you money as well, and stress. It'll save you on your wrinkles, which is nice. So I've got those two for you, say £20.98 or $27.67. I have also got for you an alternative colourway, which is going to be your farmhouse. I like the farmhouse one. I think it feels really optimistic. There's colours in here which are kind of like, ooh, I'm on me jolly bobs. Do you know what I mean? This is like me looking out at a lovely, you know, sort of sun-kissed ocean. And then I've got colours here that are almost like sort of, you know, unique orchids in the distance. And then I'm bringing to you that bright pop of hot beaming sun that then slowly over time goes down into the sunset hues. We've just got absolutely loads in here to just make you smile. So these are the big, whoa, look at that. Do you know what that reminds me of? A cocktail I'd have by the pool. Oh yeah. Anyway, yes, we have got loads of colours in there. As you can see, these are the colours you get in, and again, they're going to pair perfectly with all of the different two-sided designs cards that you get in here. Whether you're going for that kind of back-to-school gingham dress, or you're going in for the you know, picnic blanket even, we have got it here for you. Look at these little bunny rabbits having a little nose boop. It's lovely. So we've got loads in here to make you smile. Again, you don't have to pick your favourite. You're going to get both that complement each other for just $24.73 or $30.67. If you're part of our Platinum Club, though, less than 20 quid. So do seize the moment if you wanted to. Let's get demoing, shall we? Which one are we going to work with next, please, Jan?
I'm just going to say, Becky, going back to your garden party paper pad, that was something new that we tried with that one, with the single sides, because obviously, I mean, I don't mind whether they're single or double-sided, but there's always that, oh, which side shall I use? And I'm going to cover one side up.
Yeah.
So what we did with the garden party is, in effect, you've got a pattern sheet, and then you've got a plainer one that complements it, that would have been the reverse side of the paper.
Yes.
So if you look at them, they all work together. So you've got a plainer design and a pattern design that complement each other beautifully, but it would technically have been the reverse side of the paper. So now you've got them separate. You're not actually wasting any of the paper there. And I think it was ingenious the way that that one's actually been designed. All the hard work taken out. And then if you want that plain mat, you've got those gorgeous pearlescent ones to go with it. It's beautiful. That's amongst one of my favourites, that one. I think I've got 3 of that particular one.
And actually, I was going to say, you know, in the design that you were making before, where you said, oh, you don't necessarily want to see sort of the mechanism of it, so you put black card behind it. If you did want to use, you know, this, you wouldn't have to double layer it, would you?
No, not at all.
Useful.
Beautiful. Right, so we're going to move on again. We're going to take it a step further. We've got a little bit more, a bit more sort of advanced with the card, and we're going to go for best wishes this time. So I'm just going to pop that one there for you to have a look at, and you can see we've got the best along the top that's going to cut an edge in between the letters, and then we've got wishes, which is totally separate, that's going to cut into your card. So no definite cutting edge around the outside of the bottom part of the sentiment. So when we take that one off there, this is where we're heading this time. So we're actually going to cut the sentiment twice, and I've gone for sort of, if I tip this forward, you see that little bow design on the bottom. So we've got it cut into the top. So this is a combination of what we did at the top of the show with that sentiment at the top of the card. We've then cut into the background, but then we're adding a second one with that little bow front. If I show you from the bottom, you can see that it's got that bow element, and this is just simply cutting your cardstock a bit wider than what you need. It's not difficult, but it just adds that extra bit of design. So that's where we're heading with it. So I've got some bits and pieces prepped, but I wanted to show you how we arrived at the actual design to start with. So again, we've pretty much got a piece of A4 cardstock as is, and I've literally scored it down the centre, to make my card blank. So we'll secure that in, and then again I've come down about 2 inches from the top and just pop myself a little pencil line so that I know whereabouts I want to line up that top piece. And just towards the edge of the bottom of the top, that was a bit confusing, Jan. Confused myself there. Just to the bottom of the top of the bottom. Yeah, let's start that again. Right, just along where the top lettering finishes, you've got that broken line that allows these letters to stay into the card. And at the edge here, there's a little tiny notch that just shows you the alignment for where that line finishes. So that's what I'm going to line up with my pencil line. And again, we'll cut this one out first. I'm just going to tack that down. And again, look about centre either side of there. And then again, tack it to the bit that's going to be the waist. We're going to snip this out in the same way that we did that first card. So a little bit on each side there. Again, we'll pop this through our Gemini. They will go through any of your other machines if you don't own a Gemini. And if you leave the back of your card hanging out of the plates, you can actually fit them on your junior plates or the MIDI, depending on obviously the MIDI would depend on the size and the style of your project, because it's got the hinge on the top of the folder that you use. But the junior, you could turn it sideways and work them that way. So a lot of it depends on the size of the project that you're working on, rather than the actual die itself, as to which set of plates or which machine I use for my crafting. So we take that one out, and we're pretty much as we were at the beginning of the show, but this is a slightly larger card. So just to take that tape off again, and just roll that one back so that we can get the die out of there. Whoops. Just gently. And as I say, I'm going to cut that piece away, so I'm not too worried about that one. So you can see there where we've actually got the lettering cut out. And then again, I'm going to take my scissors and along the pencil line. And if ever I've drawn penciling like this, I tend to cut to the side of the pencil line. So I'm going to cut to the card side of it, which technically cuts the pencil away, and then I don't have to worry about rubbing it out. And I'm just going to meet where the die finished cutting, and you can see now that this is starting to come away. And then I'm going to cut the same here. I've got the score line down the center of my card, so I'm going to cut to the right hand side and cut the score line away so that that doesn't actually set onto the other side of the card. And then whichever way you want to come, either from the edge of the die, I'm just going to swap to my smaller scissors to fit in that little gap there. So where that one's finished cutting, and I'm just going to take it across to where I've cut down that edge, and that will take away that piece there out of the, just finish that one off at that side, there we go. And you can see there how we've got that cut in. So this might be as far as you want to go with it. You might want to make that tall card. If I bring that first one back in, you can see that we did exactly this, but we just did it on the small square card. So this one's actually A5 in size, just showing you how to get that into the top edge there. So we'll secure that fold line. So we've got the basis of the card there. We're going to do a little bit of matting and layering. So what I'm going to do is bring in some pieces that I've got, this time from the farmhouse collection. I've got that gorgeous green for you there, Becky.
Yeah,
it's
my cocktail green.
And again, it's got that slight textured finish to it. Becky's right, it does look like linen on there. And we're just going to pop these as a mat and layer to go inside that card again. So let's get those stuck down first and get those put together. But even, you know, the abstract on the back, you know, if you didn't want anything too sort of fussy, the back of these are gorgeous as well. And then you've got that lovely gingham in there, which is nice. So really nice paper pads, both of those, I think, if you're wanting to stock up today. So again, we're just going to pop this one in there, and then we'll do the same again. And I'm just working with my tape pen because I'm working with cardstock layers and paper layers. The tape is nice, strong, double-sided tape on that roll, and is ample for what I'm doing with those layers. So this one's going to go on the inside, and I'm going to put that detail on the paper at the top there, so that we can actually see it behind the design. So when we close this one, we've got that little bit of extra detail at the top there. Just reinforce that so that it stays closed. So to take it on from there, we then need to look at the pink layer, which is overlaid. So this is actually double thickness. It's nice and solid on that one. And then we need to work on the area at the bottom. So for the pink layer, again, I've taken a piece of watercolour card this time, and I've just applied some of the pink tulip ink all over with my applicator. So just using my little sponge applicator, I've literally just gone all over the top. And then this one, I added an extra layer, just using some packaging. So again, if you want that extra detail on there, I can just show you that on top of it, just by adding some of your ink onto the glass mat there. They are actually water reactive inks. Okay.
And that's the pink tulip, isn't it?
This is pink tulip,
We do
yes.
have that in the collection today if you want it.
And then what I'm going to do is take my spray bottle and actually spritz it. This is just water. Just spritz it so that I've got a bit more water going on there. And then this is actually just a little bit of bubble wrap. So you can use all sorts. You can use scrunched up cling wrap, things like that, but any type of packaging. And I'm just going to pop this into the ink and then add some extra detail on my card. You know, so however you want to build it up, it is entirely up to you, just to get some extra. Sometimes you've seen me take the inks and I sometimes just blot the card into the ink. That works too. But I just thought I'd show you something a little bit different today, just using, I know we all get packaging and it's like, what do you do with it all? Yeah. But you can just see how this adds a little bit of texture to there, mopping that ink up just to pop Now the other one that I did was done with a piece of flat plastic packaging. So it might be something, you know, that's come in a piece of plastic, and I've just literally mopped it up with the plastic. I've just lost my cloth. Oh, it's there. It's fallen down. I just wanted to get rid of that ink off there. Yeah, this one's a little bit more definite. You can see on here that there's a bit more definite design. So this one was actually a piece of flat plastic, like a piece of acetate. Did the same thing, picked it up with the acetate and just laid the acetate all over the top. So just to show you two different ways of just making your own abstract designs if you wish. You know, it may be that you wanted to use a piece of pattern paper again for this, but if you're going to use it as a layer with the dies, I would actually back it onto a piece of card. So again, we're going to take that die, and I've just measured down the same amount, and I'm just going to pop this in the centre there to pop this one on, and then we're going to pass that one through. Whoops, let me just get my plates back there. Flip that one over and pass that one through the Gemini. And then I've done the same. I'll show you what I've done for the bow front as well. So I've taken a smaller piece for the bow front, and I've actually cut twice. I've cut one in white, which I'm going to stick onto the base of the card as a background layer. And then this one, if you look here, is slightly longer than the white one, just so that we get that sort of bowed edge. It just needs to be, doesn't need to be a lot, just a fraction longer than the first one. So if I line these up here with the edge, I've got a score line here. You can see that I'm it's only about 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch tops before that next score line here. And that just allows me, when this goes together, to actually squeeze it onto the edge there, and you can see how it creates that slight bow.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to work with on there. So let's have a look at the pink now. And we're going to do the same. Again, I'm not worried about the top bit because we're going to cut just like we did before. Now then, that was the, I'm not too worried about that. We're going to cover that with it. Do you know, this is, again, top tip. I'd not realised that this was still in my die from the first cut. So this was actually this piece here.
Oh, I see.
And I haven't popped it out, so when it's come to cut this one, it's actually pressed it in here, but I'm not totally sure that this is actually cut through.
Oh, I see.
In places it's cut. So yeah, just top tip, remember to make sure that you take the spare pieces out of your die.
Brilliant.
Now I'm not too worried about it. We can always pop the die on again, all right, if need be. We can line this up, and we can actually, you can feel it click back into place and actually just pop that one back through. In fact, if I just grab the smaller plates, it'll be a wee bit quicker to pop you that one through. Because it's just the smaller piece of card there, I'm just going to pop those on the smaller ones, and they go through our large Gemini sideways there. And that should cut that lower piece there. So again, make sure that you clean your dies. Do as I say, not as I do. This is because we know that we've only got a certain amount of time when we're on air for you. So if I have a look this time, just make sure it's not moved. Pull that one off the edge there. And then we should have gone all the way through there. Whoops. Release that tape off. It's stuck it down well now because we've been through there again. There we go, look, and off that side. So this time we've actually taken the bottom piece out as well, which is what we wanted to do there. Right, so next job then is to just snip away that extra piece again. So just from the edge to where the die finishes on both sides. We're going to take that top edge, and then we've got our piece of pink now that's literally going to go over the front here and line up with this one. All right. Now what I'm also going to do is pop some green behind there, just to matte and layer again. Now choices, you can actually leave the green. I quite like the green as a background piece, but if you want to actually do this again, just like I ran it through a second time, is line it up again. So stick this one down, this layer down, line it up again just like we did. If you just wriggle it around, you can feel it click like a jigsaw piece. Pop it through your machine again, it will cut out that background, that green layer as well. But I actually quite like that with the green. On the first one,
I like it.
I went through both layers. You can see right through the background so that this is see-through. If I put the green behind here, you can see that this one goes all the way through.
Yes.
This time I think I'm going to leave that one with the green showing,
Is this
just
the
so that you
second
get.
time you're going rogue?
Well, I just think I try and show
love
you as many
it.
different ways as we can to do things while we're on air, and then you've always got these shows to come back to.
Yeah,
you know,
love
if you're
it.
stuck, you've bought the dies, but you're stuck for a little bit of inspiration one day, then you can always go back, watch the shows again, and have a look at what we did. If you want to borrow any of the designs that we've done, that's absolutely fine by me. That's what we do this for, is to give you ideas as to what you can work with. So yeah, don't ever be afraid to think, oh well, I like that Jan did. You know, if you want to take that and copy it, that's fine by me. So again, matted and layered, and I've kept this edge fairly straight, all right, rather than left the border around the edge, so that when we pop it on here, we're going to get the green line up with the inside layer, and then this is going to overlay what we've already cut. All right, so again, I just want to pop some tape around the edge there, and then before I stick this layer down, we're going to add that little bow front as well. And then I'm just going to use a bit of the wet glue on the back of the lettering, so that, because this lettering is going to stick to the white there, so just a little bit in places. It doesn't need a lot on, just to make sure that it's not loose. Just on the back of there. And then before we stick this down, I should have done this first really. I'm just going to sit that on there so that it doesn't stick to my mat. What I want to do is pop this one in the centre here at the bottom, so that we've got like a background layer, and then this one's going to wrap around the whole thing. So let's put that one on first. So I'm just pop that up there for a minute, and what I want to do is pop tape on the back of here, just on the little tabs that I've created, and all I've done there is just score in a ½ an inch on each side. And what I'm going to do is line this up with the edge of my white piece and tuck it around the back. And then because it's too long, I just have to push it slightly this way and line this one up. And you can see there now how we've created that sort of bow piece here.
Yes.
And then because this is the same size as the card, when we stick this on the front here, we're actually going to have that lovely bow front. All right. So again, I'm going to pop wet glue on the back of here so that I've got that little bit of manoeuvrability time to get this in the right place. So I've reached for my tacky glue because I had that out. You could use your collal here if you wish. You could use the dotty tape pen, but I just think by having the wet glue on there and a little bit on the back of the lettering, it's actually going to give me that little bit of time just to make sure that I've got it in the right place. And this would be much easier if you hadn't put tape on the back of this piece already. But because I have, I'm just going to hover over the top there, line that one up, and then when I actually stick it onto the card, we can give the whole thing a good press down. So again, we're just going to line this up so that it looks as if it's a continuation of that underneath layer. Line that up with the top of the card there. Whoops. And then get that one stuck down in place, and then I've just put glue on the back of the letters to get those in place. And then this one I can press down at one side, pop the bow the other way and press down at this side, and then we've got everything in place there, and you can see on the front.
Looks great.
If I turn you that one round, as I say, just taking it a little bit more advanced. And again, you can see just underneath there that you've got that lovely bow front. Now, if you're wanting to post this, I would sort of be making it into a, into a soft packaging. If you're hand delivering, I would be making a box for it. But just pop, like I mean, this has got ink on it now, but just, something like this, just rolled up underneath here, will actually protect this from being flattened while you're
tip.
actually, you know,
Love
gifting
that.
it to someone. So best wishes there. We've got the twice cut and the bow front on that one for you.
I love it. Thank you so much, Jan. Don't forget, we will be voting on card of the show and card of the day in this show, because the show that's on later is a pre-record. So we will be getting onto that very, very soon. Before it though, if you love that card, we've been working with the brand new Statement Sentiment collection, 6 of those. And of course, to create that lovely textured background, we used the water reactive inks. And that's what I've gone for you here. And I was just looking through this collection because you're getting 13 big, bold, beautiful, workable colours in here. And I'm looking at them and thinking, well, when I'm creating something, what inspires me the most? And I'm someone who's inspired by nature a lot. I'm looking at this and thinking, this pack is excellent for me, actually, because I've got my sort of sky hues within here. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking of kind of your sky, different sky colours that you can kind of pair these in together to create different detail. And of course, these could be the sky or they could be the ocean, you know, whichever you wish. And then when you think about nature, what else do you think about? Well, I think about, you know, meadows. I think about canopies. If you imagine sort of, you know, a kind of David Attenborough or similar documentary hovering over the top of forests, these are the kind of colours that you see in the canopies, aren't they? These are the kind of hues that you're going to be looking at and seeing in those overheads, whether it's meadows, grass or you know, rainforest hues. And then I'm thinking, well, florals, they always inspire me, and I'm looking at these and whether they're bold springtime florals or they're kind of evergreen florals or they're, you know, exotic florals. I've got it all going in here. So this is the wonderful thing about this range, about this collection. You haven't just got 13 colours, you've almost got a selection to break down depending on what's inspiring you. Discount deal, as you can see today, platinum price is £40 only, or $56 if you so wish. So do feel free to treat yourself. So we have got time to squeeze in another demo before we do demo of the day and demo of the show. And just to let you know, it is these that we've launched today, because I did have a Tony going, what's Jan working with? Are they new? Oh, why? They're enough. I've got for you all of these lovely sentiments that kind of give you a pop-up design and element, just to give you an idea. They really are so individual. In here we've got just for you. This could be a card for someone who's gone out of their way to be a bit special, or it's a special day for them. I've also got for you best wishes, maybe for those who need a little bit of a pick-me-up. I've got for you your hello you, that's for those who maybe you're not seen for a while. Then I've got the thank you for coming to my event, thank you for being a good friend, whatever it might be. Then I've got your happy birthday with the butterfly, and I've got for you your special day, anniversaries, graduations, whatever it might be. You don't have to choose your favourite, you're getting them all discounted today, and it is just $49.95 or $75. So do seize the moment on those. We have got time to squeeze in the demo before that vote, and this is a goodie, isn't it?
We saved the best well last, so I've sort of worked through the show from a beginner level going up to an advanced level, and this was the one that I popped on my social media last night, but I actually took the colour out of it and popped it on in black and white, and I asked you if you could guess what the colour theme was, and there were 1 or 2 people have commented on there. Lots of people commented on there. Nobody got the exact colourways, but Becky, if you're watching, Becky Haas actually said pink and black, which is close enough for me. It has got silver mirror card in there as well, and we've done a little bit of paper piecing here with some silver mirror card, but the pink and black I think was close enough. So Becky, if you're watching, well done. She knows me too well because I love my pinks, I must admit. Lots of people had put craft card and pink, which I can see why, because I'm always using the craft card, but on this occasion I just thought this was a really nice sort of strong combination. And you've got a really nice deep box going on there. really strong, and we've used some acetate in there just to fill in the apertures to keep the sort of structure of the box there, because to have left the corners empty would weaken your structure. So just by popping some acetate on the inside, and I'm going to show you how to pop this one together as well, and then you've got your lid on top. Now the way that it's been made, you've got 4 layers of card folded in at the bottom, so it's really nice and sort of well structured at the bottom, so it would probably hold something like a candle in there, would look lovely as a gift. So let's have a look then how we're going to pop this one together. So I've used the matte black card for the base. Just pop that one back on there for a second, and I'm using the Just For You, but any of them will work on this. They're all the same, like you've seen this the concept behind here. So for the base of the box then, I've actually gone our width of A4, which is 8 1/4 across here. So you guys in the States, I know yours is 8 1/2, so you might just need to take a sliver off one edge if you want to follow the same dimensions. And then lengthwise, we're looking at 10 1/2 along the long side. Okay, so 8 1/4 by 10 1/2, and then on that short side I've scored it at 1/4 inch down one side here and 4 1/4. So I've essentially created myself 2 panels, which is going to be one side of the box, second side of the box, and then you're going to do exactly the same again to create the third side and the fourth side. And the little 1/4 inch tab is going to be where we stick the 2 pieces together here to make the whole section. And then I've scored on the long side at 4 inches to make the base panels. And this is what I meant about there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces fold in at the bottom of that box to make the base. It's going to be nice and secure. So just to get these ready then, I would actually be cutting the bottom. So where we've got that 4-inch panel to make 2 squares at the bottom, you're going to cut up that score line to create the 2 pieces that are going to become the bottom of the box here. And then where the little skinny panel is at the edge, I'm going to cut up that score line as well, and I'm going to take away that smaller piece at the bottom here. All right, so I'm just going to snip, and I'm just going to take it at a slight angle to create myself a little glue tab along that edge. Okay, so you can see now that we've just got that piece on the edge, and this bit is going to fold in to take some tape to actually adhere it to that second piece that we've made. So if we actually pop the line in the middle here and give that one a score, and then we can fold up the base piece and the second base piece. You can see how I've already got like a half of my box going on, and then the other one's going to do exactly the same and sit inside it to make the other 2 sides. Now I want to cut into that folded corner of my box. So if I bring this one back into play, you can see here that on one side I've got a narrower section, and on the other side I've got a slightly deeper section here. So I've just marked this out using the die as a guideline for how much I actually need. So when we pop this on here, you can see that we're going to cut the Just For You, and I've just gauged this roughly by going from the fold here to where those little notches are on my die to get the depth here. So I'm looking roughly, just to give you a guideline, at about 1.5 inches on this side, and then just over maybe 3/4 inch on this side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place that die against the edge here, and I'm going with the writing from the bottom of the box up the side, and again we're going to pop that in place and we're going to cut it out. All right, now I'm just conscious that time's ticking away, so once I've described that, we'd pass that through the machine and it's actually going to create you this piece. So you can see here we've got exactly the same, but we've got the lettering just cut into there. You can just see that Just For You there. Now I've started to cut away the aperture, but I left that little bit just to show you again with the craft knife. All right, and again I've like I did on the one earlier, draw it in with your pencil and then literally just use your craft knife to join it up to where the die actually finishes. So I'm just going to extend that cutting line and make myself a complete aperture around that wording there. So you can see we've got the piece to come out there, piece at that side, and then take it away from the wording, gives me that aperture. All right, so the die was placed in, we've cut it out, and then we've done that rectangle around it, and I've done that twice now. I've got two pieces that are exactly the same, and I've cut up those bottom pieces to make the tabs for the bottom, and I've made my little glue tabs for the side there. So let's just pop that to one side out of the way so that we don't get confused. I'm going to put the lid on the knife so we don't have any accidents. So next part then, I'm just going to fold those lines in so that I know where we're at. So this is the base section, and this is going to be my little glue tab. We're going to put some tape on there in a second. Same with this one. You've got two pieces at the bottom there, which are going to be the base for the box, and then this side is going to be the glue tab. All right, so just while we're there, we'll pop a little bit of red line tape on there just so that it's prepped ready. So just on that tab, I want you to add a bit of tape, and I tend to go with the red line tape for this. Your double-sided tape will work, it's just a wee bit wider than what we've left for that 1/4 of an inch there. And the same on this one. If you want to do wet glue, you can actually use wet glue on there as well. So just to pop those on. And then what I like to do, just for ease, to make sure that there's no bits overlapping, is just take that top corner off there at a slight angle as well, so that when you stick them together, you've not got any problems with lining those up. So those two are ready, okay? And then what we need to think about is reinforcing the structure now of the box. So we've got that corner. If I pop this together again like we did earlier, you can see we've got that corner coming together, but I've got that gap in the edge there. So I've taken some pieces of acetate and scored them down the centre, and we're going to stick these on the inside there just to actually keep that box nice and structurally correct there. You can see how that's filled the gap.
Great stuff.
But just before I do that, I'm actually going to do a bit more work to the inside.
And
now,
in fact, just before you do that, do you mind if you do a little vote? If we do a little vote,
vote. Shall I use this one to go in the?
Do you mind?
The finish one?
Just because we know we have to do the show and the
away,
day.
Isn't it?
Because we don't want you to have to rush it. We want to spend time having a right good
Right.
nosy.
Let's go back to the top of the show then. If you were watching, if you've been with us all the way through the show, then we started off fairly straightforward at the beginning, just cutting it on one edge and adding that little drop shadow. So Hello You was number 1.
Lovely.
Then we took it a step further and did a similar thing, but we cut it into that stepper, that M card, that stepper card, and we had Thank You there. Whoops. Open it up and it will stand up there like that. Okay, so that was done on that lovely M design there. That was number 2. Number 3, we went all the way into the card and cut the aperture with the added extra piece with the knife on our special day. So that was number 3. Number 4, we did it twice. We did it once at the top, and then we added that lovely bow front section on the front there. So that was number 4. And then number 5, when we've just put this together, is going to be that lovely gift box there. We're just going to show you how I've done the rest of it.
Okay, so I'm going to give you just a few minutes to get voting. You can vote on Facebook, on our YouTube, and that is for demo of the show, and that's because I've got demo of the day coming up in a bit. So we'll carry on with the demo, and then if it's all right with you, once the winner comes through, I'll just interject again, and we'll do the next one. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Fabulous. Right, I'm back with you.
Right, so what I want to do then is I want to paper piece this section here. All right, so I'm quite happy to leave the top black, but I want to add some detail into here. And I'm going to keep that mirror card theme. So I've taken a piece of our silver mirror card and I'm just going to pop the die on again. And I need to do this twice to get, I just actually need the bottom piece. So if you don't want to waste your mirror card, you can just line it up so that you get that for you, which is the bottom section. And I'm going to do them one at a time because I don't want to lose the pieces. I want to keep that lettering, and we're going to paper piece those pieces into the edge of the box.
Oh, nice.
So what I'm actually going to do is be very careful when we take this apart, and I just want, still in the die there, that's the best way to do it, is to just leave this section in the die. And then what I'm going to do is I've got pieces of our double-sided adhesive. All right, so this comes in a big sheet. You can buy a pack of it on the website. And the hardest part is actually getting one of the edges off.
If you do need a pokey tool, we've actually got some in a set with glue and little applicators. So if you are new, then that could be quite handy, and it has got the pokey tool in it, because that tool does help with this a bit, doesn't it, Jan?
Do you know, I should have done this, here we go, I should have done this earlier and got them ready. So what I'm going to do is turn this over, and I'm going to stick this piece over the back of the lettering, so that when we actually come to stick in the other pieces, I've got a sticky bit. I'll show you what I mean. I take that backing off altogether. And I'm going to line it up with the bottom of the lettering and make sure I've covered the bottom of the just and the for you, and pop that, so that when we actually come to do this now, I can literally pick out the pieces that I want here and literally just take them and stick them onto that sticky that we've exposed. And I found that as to be one of the best ways to actually do this. So the for comes out as one word. And this is where the tweezers come in really handy to just overlay. And because you've used the die, it's really nice and easy to just sit these back in the gap. Now I'm just going to do one side to show you how I've done it, because I'm just conscious that time is ticking away. So again, we've got the U on there with the tweezers into the top there, and just slide that back into the gap. And then again, we've got the bottom part, and that one's going to go in here. Okay, just to pop it back into place there. And then we need the little piece from the bottom of the just is going to go
Great, it really does.
in there. And you can do this with any colour.
Yeah.
It looks nice done in the glitter card as well. If you're using glitter card, I would pop your metal shim in just to get that bite on the glitter card, and especially with a sentiment like this that's got quite a few cutting points. But you can see now, if I lift this up and get that to catch the light, how it's just added that little bit of extra detail and just makes it look a little bit more expensive.
Oh, it's so chic.
So you would
it
do
really
that
is.
twice. You would do exactly the same, but just for speed, I'm going to leave this one as it is. But I'd got another piece of tape to put double-sided on the back here.
Yeah.
And do exactly the same. Cut it again out of your silver card and use that to actually fill the gap.
Perfect.
All right.
I'm going to just pause you there for a moment,
Yep.
because a winner has come through. Demo of the show. Winner, have a guess. Go
I
on.
wonder.
I wonder.
I wonder.
It is number 5.
I thought it might
yes,
be.
it is. So
I thought
we'll
it might
get
be.
voting for Demo of the Day now, because if you have just tuned in, the show that's on this evening, the 7 p.m. show, Creative Cravings, it was pre-recorded. So Michelle is on that show. Don't forget that you've got the countdown in that, which is essentially, what's it called? Craft countdown, that's it, which basically means that there will be products on screen for 30 minutes. They'll all come in at once, and then you have to check them out within 30 minutes to get the deal. That's starting 7 p.m. UK time tonight. So we've already got the card being voted on by the crew. So if we do them in show order, this is a Wake Up Call with the winner, Jan. This was her best wishes card that we have here for you, that had that lovely sentiment on the inside. Then the second show is this one, isn't it, Jan?
Yes, so we've got the we're still in the makings of sticking my demo together, but this was the finished sample. Just think it's really nice. You know, if you wanted to add a bow on the top, you could, or some decoration on the top. That lovely rosette that came in the garden party collection, if you bought that, that would look gorgeous sat on the top of there as well. Yeah, so that was this one.
So that is option 2, and then spoiler alert, this is coming up in the later show. This is the one made by Michelle. So this is the card that the team voted on earlier on, and there is a sneaky little hidden design in there. So this one is by Michelle from the later on show. So you get voting. It was 1, the box 2, and 3 for this one. So get those votes in. I'm back with you.
Right, so just while you were chatting, Becky, all I've done is literally I've made some mats and layers. I've used the Silver Marie card for my mats, and then the papers from that lovely farmhouse collection. You were right earlier, it was the pink, and there's a lovely blue version of this as well that's nice. So I've put that on, and then I've got a second one to go on the second piece, again just with that tape pen. If you prefer to use your wet glue, will work absolutely fine. It's just that I know this is dry enough to move on when we use the tape pen there. So that's the sides of the box. So this is one side, and then we've got that on the other side, and then you've got your tab to stick them together. So the next bit was to actually bridge this gap and pop the acetate in here. So I've actually got my right angle here from the score line, the fold, and then I've created a piece of acetate that's big enough to cover the whole of this, and all I'm going to do is drop that into the fold here, line it up, and then we're going to stick one side down on this side, and then I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of the dotty tape pen onto those letters so that they stick to the acetate there.
Oh, I get you. Karen's just asked, is this construction acetate? Does the score line turn white?
Not particularly, no. This is actually our, I think it's Hunky Dory heavyweight acetate that I've used in here. But you can see there with the score line, I don't think it's actually gone particularly white. No. It is made with construction in mind. So this one, obviously, we've got a see-through element on because I didn't finish off the paper piece in just with time. But when I actually pop it on this side, you've got that lovely sticky panel there as well. So if we take the back off here now, because it's double-sided, this is sticky as well. So when we do the score line here, and this one's actually 7 inches by 5 3/4, and then I've scored it down the middle at the 3.5 inch mark, and then I've put tape all the way around the edge to secure the edges, and I've just used the 3mm because you don't want any of it to infringe into the space where you've got the die cuts in there. So I've just used the little 3mm double-sided tape there, the red line tape, and again we're going to drop this one into that fold again here. The only difference this time is that we can stick this down onto that double-sided tape as well. So we've got one side there. Again, just a little bit of the dotty tape pen to make sure that those letters stick to the acetate. And then you've got that lovely sticky panel there as well that's going to catch the rest of the acetate on the inside there. And you can see how that's actually created that edge of the box to make it nice and substantial. Yeah. So once you've got to that, we just need to stick the two pieces together, because obviously this is bigger than what we could have made out of A4 card, which is why we've got the two panels. So line up your score lines at the bottom and just match it up so that you can just see the score line running down the edge here so that you've got it to fold. If you come over the score line, you'll find that this panel overhangs the corner there. Give that a good press into place, and then we're going to do exactly the same with the little tab at this side. So I'm going to take the liner off the tape there, and because this is all equal sizes, if you fold this panel in and then this one in, you'll find that you've got a perfect line up there to make that actual shape of the box. And then I'm going to tip it on its head, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. So if you've got a preference as to which side you want to be the front, I'm going to go with the one that we've paper pieced. I'm going to make sure that this panel comes down last. So I'm going to use Kalal on here because that sets rock solid, the all-purpose glue. And it helps, even though we've got 4 layers of cardstock, it's going to help to strengthen that base in the bottom, because when it sets like concrete. So we've got 1 there, and then I'm just going to glue this in here.
Whilst you're gluing that, let me let you know we have had a winner! I'll give you a clue.
Give me a clue. Am I still sticking it together?
Yeah, carry on sticking. It's a cardboard box. Your
the cardboard
wonderful box has won
Thank
demo of
you.
the day. Congratulations, Jan.
So I'm literally just going to do that. Now I did have the pieces for the lid there, just to make the lid with the matte and layer, but I'm going to pinch the one off the box that we made earlier because it's all the same sizes, and just pop that one onto there, just to say that we've actually got to the end. So the bit with the paper piecing in is there just for you. And you've got those lovely acetate sides. Whew, only just made that one.
Yes, you did great. Thank you so much, Jan. We will see you again on Friday.
Yes.
Don't forget that this evening show, which starts at 7 p.m. here UK time, that's 2 p.m. Eastern, today is a pre-record, and it does have your creative cravings, and you have got that opportunity to snatch some of those TikTok deals. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, don't forget that tomorrow morning we are going to be joining you for some more treats and goodies, including a launch tomorrow. We have got some 12 by 12 glitter card, which is brand spanking new. So we are going to be joining, it's me, isn't it? Oh, I hope I'm here again tomorrow. Oh, what you like. You've got me, and we've got the lovely Debbie Robinson as well. So you go, chill out, relax, and we'll see you back here for that pre-recording 2 hours. Thanks a lot as always. Bye-bye.